The other spectrum of that outside the newbie, I see them as typically being the most vulnerable. But in my opinion, I think that the seasoned pros are equally as vulnerable because they do things the way they do them and they've always done them. And sometimes, life and technologies evolve. What advice would you give to that seasoned pro that's been doing this for 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, things are changing more rapidly, not just in our industry, but in the world, much more rapidly than they ever have. And that continues to just accelerate. So you have to stay very fresh. You have to be open-minded. Frankly, I think, seasoned pros really need to take a look at the way that people communicate now. One of the things I talk to people a lot about is still this philosophy that's very much a phone-based industry. And while it still is, that's not necessarily what a lot of people are doing. We have a recruiting division in my company as well. And many of our communications are taking place via text, via different other types of communication methods. It's extremely hard to get people on the phone, both on the candidate and the client side. And I see sometimes there's this unwillingness to accept that. There's kind of this level of pride in some cases of I need to be on the phone all the time. You need to be on the phone all the time. And sometimes they're looking at their employee who's on their phone texting all the time and they think they're not working, but actually they're working just as hard. They're just communicating in the way that those candidates and those clients want to communicate. And we just need to understand it. We need to be willing to adapt to it or we're going to fall behind.
Well, and I think that's wonderful advice. And from one old guy that remembers the business world before the internet, and has seen it progress.
Another old guy.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that things do evolve.